These are NFL players who had great games after terrible tragedies, and the first one came when one player returned to the place that saved his life. This is Chiefs safety Eric Berry. He was off to an unreal start to his career, but in 2014, he received life-altering news. Berry was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, a type of cancer, and he needed to put his football career aside to focus on his health. He returned to his hometown of Atlanta to undergo chemotherapy treatment, and miraculously, just 9 months later, he was declared cancer-free. So in 2016, when the Chiefs went on the road to play the Falcons, to say it was an emotional return for Berry would be an understatement.
I shed a few tears before the game, but I shed a few during the game, and I shed a few after. So the last time I came home during the season, it was to get chemotherapies, and then this time it was actually to play the games. When opportunities come my way, I just cherish them and try to make the most of them.
And in his homecoming game, the Chiefs safety would put on an insane performance.
Bryant throwing intercepted in the middle of the field by Eric Berry. Berry to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Kansas City. And Eric Berry takes that football right over to his mom.
A pick six in the town he grew up in, and his first game back there since his chemotherapy treatment. But Berry's day was not over yet, because with 5 minutes left in the game, he would make a historical play that would seal the victory for KC.
Bryant throwing, intercepted, picked off. This is Berry, and Eric Berry going the other way, and nobody's going to catch him.
For the first time in NFL history, Eric Berry had a defensive two-point conversion, giving the Chiefs the lead and eventually winning.
Could you write a script like this? You get a pick six, you get the 102-yard return in your hometown where you battled cancer with your friends and family. Just walk us through this day.
Just amazing, man, amazing. And I'm just thankful, man, because my friends and teammates, everybody just keeping me focused and keeping me locked in. They said this moment will come. And, we're not done yet, so I'm just going to keep staying focused and get ready for the Raiders.
But this next great game came from an entire team after one of the darkest moments in NFL history. On January 2nd, 2023, the Bills and the Bengals, two of the best teams in the NFL, got ready to play on Monday Night Football in what was expected to be one of the best games of the year. But just 9 minutes into the contest, everything changed.
Here's Higgins wide open to midfield and lowers the shoulder for 13. Now another Bills player is down, and that is Demar Hamlin.
Medical personnel have been working on Bills safety Demar Hamlin for the last 9 minutes. Hamlin made a hit. He got up, took a couple of steps, then just fell to the ground. Several players are down on their knees. Other players are holding hands, praying. You can just see the worried looks.
After making the tackle on T. Higgins, Demar Hamlin collapsed, where he laid motionless on the field after suffering a sudden cardiac arrest. The Bills medical team ended up giving him CPR and defibrillating his heart with an AED for nearly 20 minutes on the field before he was eventually taken away in an ambulance.
They have been administering CPR. Well, you can see that the ambulance is out there on the field, and they are intensely working on Demar Hamlin.
Just so much emotion down here on the Bills sideline right now. After Hamlin was taken away by ambulance, the Bills player just looked devastated.
The game was suspended and eventually canceled.
John Perry just heard the official word that play has been suspended for the rest of the night.
So when the Bills went to play their final game of the season the next week, with tributes for Hamlin all across the stadium and them wearing his number 3 on their hearts, how the game began felt like something out of a movie.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland, Miami and the Jets were underway as New England decided to defer after winning the toss. The game's going to be played. How will it go? And Hines breaking a tackle and taking it past midfield. This is storybook, an opening kickoff return for Demar Hamlin.
I mean, how can you not tear up at that? But what's even crazier is that Hines wasn't done just yet.
Buffalo could fall back to the 3 if the Bills lose here. Baltimore shorthanded. Here comes Hines again. And wow, watch him bounce off the tackle. Oh my goodness, can he do it twice? Is this for real? Can you believe it?
This is almost like a miracle, like to have two of these in the same game.
2 kickoff return touchdowns for their fallen teammate. This was something that had everyone on the Bills feeling emotional.
I can't remember a play that touched me like that, I don't think, in my life. So it's probably number one. It was just spiritual, and I was going around and I was going around my team saying, God's real. Like, you can't draw that one up, write that one up any better.
But this next player was able to overcome his tragedy and help lead his team to a win. This is Marquise Goodwin. In 2017, Marquise and his wife were thrilled to find out that they were expecting their second child, which meant a lot to the couple since they had unfortunately lost their first baby just 8 weeks into their first pregnancy. However, this pregnancy would be just as difficult. 19 weeks in, Marquise's wife Morgan fell ill on a Saturday night. When they got to the hospital, it was discovered that their child was being born prematurely and she would have to give birth to avoid an infection. And tragically, the baby was dead at birth. After spending all night in the hospital, Morgan encouraged Marquise to go play in the game that day, so that way, her and their son could watch him play. And watch him play they did.
3rd down and 8.
Nice pickup.
Wide open for the speedster, Goodwin. And Goodwin is gone. A 49er touchdown.
Our guy here has experienced some pain here in the last 24 hours, but he came out, balled out for us. We appreciate that. We love you, man.
With his wife and son looking on, Goodwin caught one of the longest touchdowns of his career and fell to his knees afterward, so overcome with emotion. The score was also his first touchdown of the season and would help lead the 49ers over the Giants in what was the team's first win of the season.
I just remember just sitting in that hospital bed, holding baby Goodwin and watching that and just bawling.
But this next player would have a career game less than 24 hours after someone close to him died. This is Torrey Smith. In just his second year in the NFL, Smith was faced with a tragedy when super early one Sunday morning, he found out that his younger brother was killed in a motorcycle accident. Torrey would then drive to Virginia to go be with his family in the time of need, but would then surprise everyone when he showed up to the stadium later that day, ready to play, wanting to honor his late brother, and the performance he would put on for him would be legendary.
Flacco with time. Flacco going deep, and it's hauled in with a touchdown. Flacco gets away, and it is caught by Torrey Smith. And Flacco with time. Flag thrown.
Smith set a career high in receiving yards less than 24 hours after his brother's death, and would help his team get the win over the defending AFC champions in a season that would see Torrey win a Super Bowl himself.
4-game balls. Guys who had special, wonderful, amazing, miraculous things going on in their lives. Torrey Smith.
And just like Torrey Smith, Quan Alexander knows exactly what it's like to play with a heavy heart. In 2015, as a rookie, Alexander was getting ready to play his first career game in Atlanta, which would be special to him since his family grew up just 90 minutes away in Alabama and would be in attendance. But the Friday right before the game, tragedy struck.
We were looking forward to it. Yeah, we all planned on going and to support, yeah.
I was in the hotel and we was all sitting down and I got the call from my mom.
I just told him the brother had been shot. He was trying to come home then. And I just told him to just hold on, you know, because we didn't know what outcome of it was gonna be.
I got that call and they said he was gone.
He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Guy coming up, carrying on, and they got into an altercation and he shoots him.
His brother shot and killed right before him and his family were going to make the trip to go see Quan play. Even after Alexander's coach gave him the option to sit out and go be with his family, Quan knew that he had to play and honor his brother, and he did so very early on in the game.
To the end zone, and it's picked off. It's not going to make a difference. And here he comes. Look at Julio Jones chasing down. Remember how I called him Secretariat last week? Julio Jones will bring him down and throw him down.
Despite the amazing play fueled by his tragedy, That play was called back due to a penalty on Tampa Bay.
Offside. Defensive right end.
Despite that, Alexander was just getting started with his insane day.
Ryan over the middle, picked off. Intercepted. Guess who? Quan Alexander. And there's the pass to Julio Jones. And Jones has it taken away. Quan Alexander ripped it away from him. Alexander back the other way.
By the time the game was over, Alexander had 11 tackles, a forced fumble with the recovery, and an interception, in what would wind up being a Buccaneers win.
This guy here did today, guys, that's something special.
But this NFL player's tragedy was nearly 2 years long and involved him almost losing a limb and potentially his life. In 2018, Alex Smith was off to a great start with Washington. They were 6-3 in his first year and were leading the NFC East. But in week 11, something would happen to Smith that would not only change his career, but also his life forever.
Here comes the blitz. And there goes Alex Smith down at the 40-yard line.
Alex Smith is down.
Smith would go down with a broken leg in one of the most gruesome injuries to ever happen to a quarterback. But Smith's broken leg wasn't like other ones that have happened in the past. This was a complex fracture of both the tibia and the fibula, and it was an open wound. After getting his initial surgery, Smith would fall ill a few days later. It was then discovered that his wound was infected and was potentially deadly. The doctors would go into life-saving and then leg-saving procedures, meaning Smith was at risk of having his right leg amputated. In total, Alex would have 17 surgeries to repair his leg and needed excess tissue from other parts of his body to make it possible. After an intense road back, which included having to learn how to walk again, nearly 700 days after suffering his injury, Smith would return to the NFL field for the first time.
693 days later, here he is coming back on an NFL football field. And he's going to throw and complete it to McKissick. And McKissick gets it out to the 40-yard line.
But what a great moment it is right there. That's fantastic.
Blitz is coming. Smith under pressure going in, so he's got it!
Thank you for this incredible honor. You know, playing this game takes a physical toll, and there are so many guys that are deserving of this recognition. My goal was football, not because I actually thought it was a reality, but because I knew my life would be better because of it. This thing that once represented everything I feared, everything I had lost, it's probably the thing I'm most proud of in my life, outside of my wife and kids.